Hey guys. I had an interesting moment last week. I was walking through Moss Park at 3 a.m., which nothing good happens at 3 a.m. when you're walking through Moss Park. I took a wrong turn. But these two prostitutes came up to me and they were like, "Hey buddy, are you looking for a good time?" And I said, "No, thank you." But I stuttered when I said that. And they started laughing hysterically at me at my stuttering problem because I was nervous, and I just sort of stood there and was reminded at what level I'm at in society, you know? Like, there's like single parent families, there's people who will do anything for crack, and then there's just me, a stand-up comedian with a stuttering problem. It's so sad. Yeah, thank you for eyeing. You're supposed to laugh, but that's okay. I've been a comic for a while now, and when you're a comic, you meet a lot of interesting people. I know the Toronto Batman. I'm friends with Toronto Batman. That's fun. It's cool because like when you're walking through Dundas Square with somebody who doesn't do comedy, and the Toronto Batman yells out, "Hello, Chris Roberts," and you go up and have a conversation with them. After the conversation, you have to look at your friend and be like, "I'm friends with the Toronto Batman." Well, like 4 years ago, I was invited to his birthday party. And I couldn't make it, and I felt bad, so I was just like, "You know what, let me take you out for a drink that afternoon." And he was like, "Cool, meet me at this loft on Queen Street West." I was like, "Awesome." So I meet him there, and he's just like, we just have to like pick up some beer, and once we get the beer, we can go out for a drink. So I was like, "Sweet." And we go to the beer store, and he ends up ordering $600 worth of beer. And he has no way of getting it the 3 blocks back to to the loft. It's just me and this little like cart that you bring your empties in on with like those little shopping cart wheels. And we load up $600 worth of beer on like this little cart, and I can't just say no to him because it's his birthday and I'm stuck here, you know? So I'm holding it like this and he's pushing it, and we get it out onto Queen Street, and you can feel every single bump on the sidewalk. But we're making it. We're doing it. We just have to make it across Bathurst Street. Once we're across Bathurst Street, we're home free. We're at the loft. But what's on Bathurst Street? Streetcar tracks. We made it over one. The second one, we weren't so lucky. It just sort of teetered $600 worth of beer and then fell over like this. And you know when like something's like super bad but there's no consequence to you, it's just secretly the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life? That's exactly how I felt. And I just like looked up at the Toronto Batman and he was just like, "Fuck!" I was like, "Dude, why didn't you just offer somebody some beer that had a car that could move down the 3 blocks to the loft?" And he's like, "Because you can't depend on anyone." I was just like, "Who am I? You know? Who the fuck am I?" Another thing I used to do about 4 years ago as well was run an open mic on Queen Street West at 4 p.m. on a Sunday. Which if you don't know, it's a bad time. That was stand-up open mic. Nobody ever comes, not even comedians. It was always just like me, my buddy Guy, my buddy Abraham, and we do the same 15-minute show in front of the same 3 drunk hipsters in the back, week after week after week. And on the final week of the show, we went in, and I set up the stage, and I went into like my shitty 5-minute act. And the hipsters in the back of the room had enough, and they just yelled out, "Why do you come here week after week and tell the same shitty jokes? We don't like you, turn our music back on and leave." And I just sort of timidly looked at them, and I was just like, "Listen man, it'll just be 15 minutes. Just give us 15 minutes and we'll be out of your way." And I finished my act, and I brought my buddy Guy up, who I don't know where he is right now, but he was a very intense person. And he started yelling at the hipsters in the back, and they started yelling back, and they were getting closer and closer. And I just thought at that second that I don't think we were coming back next week, you know? I think the show was going to be canceled. And just as I thought that Abraham, who I also don't know where he is right now, he probably the nicest guy I ever met, He had a lot of jokes about zoo animals. Great guy. But he leans in just then. He's just like, hey, Chris, do you think I can do 20 minutes today? Which again, if you guys don't know, it's hard to do 20 minutes in a shitty open mic like that.
Yeah.
But we're not coming back next week, so I'm like, Abraham, if you want to do 20 minutes, spread your wings and fly. And he gets up there, and he gets 5 minutes into his act, and he starts telling his opener again. And the hipsters in the back of the room are the first ones to realize this, and they're just like, you're telling the same joke again, retard! Didn't faze Abraham at all. He ended up telling the same 5-minute act 4 times. And it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen, you know? Because the hipsters in the back of the room were just losing their mind, and he was just going through like he was killing at Massey Hall. And as he finished up his 20 minutes, he like put the mic back in the mic stands, and I went up and I shook his hand, he looked me dead in the eye, and he was just like, practice makes perfect. And we never went back there again, guys. Anyways, I'm Chris Roberts, thank you.